Ahmed.
Welcome to the Student Cultural Show. We would like to welcome the chairman of UWC International, Sir John Daniel.
As well as our sponsors and the members of the Kuratorium.
Also, all the members of UWC Board and Council.
Dr. Phil Geyer, who was the president of UWC USA and is now the chief executive for the Davis Scholar Program.
As well as all the presidents of US universities visiting.
Then all National Committee volunteers.
And of course, our beloved staff member.
And last but not least, our peers.
It's a big honor for both of us to be the MCs for this show today. This is Julia from Germany.
And this is Ahmed from Palestine.
And it's also a big pleasure for all of us to have you all here with us today, celebrating the diversity we all have.
Before we start, make sure that you've turned off your electronic devices or have set them to silent mode so you don't have any distractions during the show.
Also, in case of emergency, please note that there is 4 exits to get out of this auditorium, 2 at the back and 2 at the sides.
This year, we have the great pleasure to have students from 93 nationalities coming to us to Freiburg, even more than we had last year. Our new additions are Greece, Lebanon, Libya, Moldavia, Slovenia, South Korea, Sweden, South Africa, Somaliland, Taiwan, and Fiji.
Manueli, our first-year student from Fiji, would like to perform for us his traditional religious dance. Please welcome him.
Thank you, my lady.
Julia,
Yeah, Ahmed?
do you know what's one of the greatest things that happening at RBC?
No, tell me.
You always hear a piano playing everywhere in the college. As the college provides us 5 pianos and our talented peers always playing.
It's true, we have incredibly talented students here, and one of these talents is Henry from Germany, who is now performing a piece by Russian composer Sergei Prokofiev, followed by another performance in which he's accompanying Zoe singing for us.
Henry, the stage is yours.
So the piece, as she said, is from Sergei Prokofiev, and it's called La Suggestion Diabolique, which roughly translates to devilish inspiration. And sadly, I forgot the Russian word, but let's put that down stressed. I hope you enjoy it.
Hi, my name is Zoe and I'm from Germany, and you might recognize that I'm not wearing any of the German national costumes. And I simply don't, because I do not connect with the German national costumes. I wasn't brought up with them. What I do connect to, and what makes me identify with my country, is music. And that's why I'm going to sing a song composed by Georg Schütz during the 30-Year War, which was a war between Protestants and Catholics in the 17th century in Germany. And the song I'm going to sing is about the misery the people felt during that war, but also how they considered themselves lucky because they believed in God. Bringe mich Gott zu retten, Herr mir zu helfen. Es müssen sich schämen und zu Schanden gehen, die nach meiner Seele stehen.
Suranbushi, or the fisherman dance, is one of the most traditional dances in Japan.
Our Japanese students, Mio and Kento, got together with some of their friends to perform this dance today for us.
Please welcome them. Thank you. Now, we will move on and leave the stage for our first year from Swaziland, Sam Kaliso, performing his own poem. Rumi, the stage is yours.
Good afternoon. I cannot sing, I cannot dance, but I can inject some life into words. I have prepared for you a meal of words. Please just indulge. Savor the moment. My name is Sangiliso Dlamini. I'm from Swaziland, just like I've been introduced. I fell in love with writing 3 years ago, and I haven't stopped since. It's sort of a desire, feeling. Every time I feel, I want to put that into words, and I want to put it down, and I want to say it, and I want people to listen to me say it. The poem I'm going to perform today is titled Letters to Heart. Letters, Letters. Now I'm saying this because I'm saying this because I performed the poem for someone else during rehearsal, and he approached me afterwards and said, Sam, what do you mean letters to heart? I said, letters to heart, is that letters to heart? I said, oh, I thought you meant like letters as in the salad. Letters. So that's why I'm making that clarification. Letters, ladies and gentlemen, letters to heart. It's inspired by, the conflict, the political unrest that is everywhere in the world. And that in itself touched me, and it led me to come up with this poem and put it down. Let's do this, Sophia. Please excuse my manners, they have fled out to look for the letters. Letters I will later imbue my mouth with and spit out words too heavy for my tongue. They will permeate your skin and stick on the tender, tender walls of your heart. Gliding down, they will beseech you to let them in immediately with the speech of their far, far cry, with the pitch so low, they will dare not blow a lie. Aligned with purpose, they have fled out to look for the letters. Letters you will try to pluck off from your heart, but will stick on, will knock on the tender door of your hearts, on which you came victorious over the letters of Victoria. Yes, Victoria. The pitch black girl who could not go to Lake Victoria because her parents could not afford that euphoria. No, not her real parents. The parents who foster her real ones were taken by a missing persons poster. I guess by being black, they were just being imposters. Look, lobsters were the last thing that slipped down his throat. Cartilage could not stop the running blade so taut. Poor Nick. In the nick of time, a burning tire was hung and melted around his neck. A few jubilant cheers before his head subsided to a heck, and a number of aches is only counted short by lack. He lacked a veil, and they lacked remorse, but who really lacked then? And now they have fled out to look for the letters. Letters in green pastures. Letters resting peacefully in the hearts of pastors. Pastors who have disjointed their knees with prayer, trying to peel off that layer off. Without your culture, we are better off. Without your religion, we are better off. Without your language, we are better off. It seems as if we've mastered the art of being better off, But being off is not better. Being on is living on one land with love as pixie dust. Resting on one palm of unity, rejoicing on one tongue of diversity. And that is how we enroll ourselves at the University of 5 letters. P, E, A, C, E. Peace. I've written my letters, and I am done sharing my peace.
Thank you, Sam. Nepal is geographically divided into 3 regions. The Himalaya to the south, to the north, the Middle Hill in the center, and Tagai to the south. 2 of these 3 regions are represented in our college. Please welcome Juni and her first year, Santa, performing their traditional dance.
Nepal, and you might be wondering why we are wearing 2 different kinds of traditional dresses, because in Nepal we have more than hundreds of traditional dresses according to religion, according to different cultures they have, and today we try to represent 2 of the geographical regions. And about the performance, it's a very typical song that most of the Nepalese people do whenever they have to show their culture, and we hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
I have to admit, I'm pretty bad at dancing. But for this, we have the Latinos, right? At every party, we usually watch out for them because they're so good at dancing. No stereotyping at all here. But the Latino group that has prepared a dance for us today does not only consist of students coming from South and Middle America, but also from countries that have a high emotional history with these countries, like Portugal, Spain, and Angola. Please welcome them.
Latinos, faces full of joy and stories of toil and sorrow. Latinos, descendants of hard-working hands and of a colorful cultural diversity. Latinos, the heartbeat of the world. Latinos, the guardians of the world lungs, the world natural wealth. Guardians of the Yo Bonito and master of salsa, cumbia, tango, and flamenco, and son de la marimba. We get up every day before the sunrise, and we stop working till the sunset. We open our hearts to everyone. We share the little that we have. And no matter how long we know you, you will always be our cuate, mae, pana, parce, or weón. At the end, a description about who we are may not be enough. A poem about what we feel is not emotional enough. The only thing that I can say is that we are Latinos, and we do what we love. And one thing that we love is to dance. Somos latinos. Saca tu bandera y comienza a bailar, porque el día no es suficiente.
Thank you. And now we will move on to Dimery and Miki, our students from Georgia. They would like to perform to us a Georgian song about nostalgia. Please welcome them.
Hello, I'm Maggie, and this is Demo. We're from Georgia. And first of all, I would like to briefly introduce my country. Georgia is the country of remarkable history and culture. Its special location, as you know, Georgia is located in the crossroads of Europe and Asia, identified and distinguished from the other countries. Georgia has its own 3 alphabets and its own language, which we call Georgian.
Now moving on to the African continent. First, Gimba, our first student from South Sudan, presenting her self-written speech, and then a dance. Have fun.
O God of all creation, bless this our land and nation. Justice be our shield and defender. May we dwell in peace, love, and unity. Plenty be found within our borders. Well, that there is the Kenyan national anthem. Kenya is a country in Africa. Note, not a country within a country. That bit of information there seemed insignificant for a moment, but at least now we all know Africa is not a country. Africa remain rooted in troubling stereotypes of helplessness and perpetual crisis. Well, until the lion has his own storyteller, the hunter will always have the best stories. Stereotypes, the preconceived, the oversimplified ideas, the prejudiced attitude, the uncritical judgment, a canoe which unfortunately most of us are in. Quoting the great African novelist Chimamanda, the danger of a single story is that it creates stereotypes, And the problem with stereotypes is not that they are untrue, but they are incomplete. They make one story become the only story. So who are we Africans? Well, according to Herodotus, a Greek historian, Africans are wise men occupying the Upper Nile, men of long life and whose manners and customs pertain to the Golden Age, those virtuous mortals whose feasts and banquets honored by Jupiter himself. Well, those who have been lucky enough to visit the Dark Continent often return with warm stories, stories of a warm and generous population in ancient caravan cities in Niger, stories of Nairobi, Kenya, the safari capital of the world, stories of Mozambique, home to the scenic Bazaruto archipelago, of Dakar, Senegal, which features the ancient Medina district, and esteemed Musée Theodore Monod, a display of African art. What if I told you that that was my Africa, the Africa that you choose not to show, that that is the Africa I know, the culture that I relish in, the one that was born in me, because that is the Africa I know, the Africa that has taught me not to die like an octopus, but instead die like a hammerhead shark, because that is my Africa, and my Africa is beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Our student Vlada and Nastya from Russia and Vlada from Ukraine will perform to us a mixture between a Ukrainian and Russian traditional dance. Please welcome them.
Я знаю теперь, что единство мое с другими народами не может быть нарушено чертой границы или указаниями правительств о принадлежности моей к тому или иному народу.
Я знаю тепер, що єдність моя з іншими людьми не може бути порушена межею кордонів та розпорядженнями урядів про приналежність мою до того чи іншого народу.
I know that my unity with all people cannot be destroyed by national boundaries and government orders. Leo Tolstoy.
So, earlier we've heard that we have 93 nationalities here at Robert Bosch College, but we should not forget about the 25% Germans we have here. 50 out of 200 students at least. What our difficulties, our responsibilities, but also advantages are will now be discussed by Saskia, Max, and Karl.
Good afternoon, everybody. Whenever I do tours for external guests at Robert Bosch College, one of the most frequent questions I get asked is, were you disappointed when the German National Committee selected you for this college here? Reason for that being that I applied for 2 years abroad, living in a country where a different language is spoken, different food is eaten, the road signs are in different languages, the list could go on. But for me personally, and probably most of the other students, UWC is challenging yourself for 2 years. It is taking risks, it is going on adventures, and most of all it is learning from success and failure. So maybe being one among 50 Germans in a student body that only consists of 200 students brings different aspects and tasks with it that could fill a gap that a potential culture shock has left.
Being a German at RBC comes with a responsibility. The responsibility to host 150 students, to show them what life in Germany is like and what it means to be German. We share our culture, we share our lifestyle, we share our food in the dorm kitchens, sometimes listen to German music at the parties, whether you like it or not. We teach our language, waiting for check-in, sometimes too long. But yes, even within us Germans, there are great differences. Well, not just on personal level, we are from different regions, from different backgrounds, different history. I come from Bavaria, which is known for Lederhosen, Wurst, Oktoberfest, and beer. Well, my stereotypical culture is very different from the culture in Eastern Germany. There is still a social and economic gap between former GDR and Western Germany. And through long night conversations, classroom contributions, and well, hosting some of our peers and friends over a break just at our families, well, we hope that we can show what Germany really is.
As already mentioned, we're 25 German students every generation, 50 in total. And as one would expect, this really changes the first year, second year dynamic and the first year, second year relationship. In comparison to other countries where we only have 1 or 2 students, maybe 3 every year, the relationship between Germans is really different and maybe not that close. And this may sound like a bad thing at first, but actually it's not that bad because it really, really improved the intercultural experience that Germans have at RBC. And it prevents them from just always spending time only with their second and first years. But if you really want that strong first year, second year relationship, and you believe that's something that really contributes to your UWC experience, then you can have it. And as Max already said, Germany is really diverse. So if you want to enjoy a local dish or a local dance with somebody, there's always somebody from the same region or even the exact same city that you're from, either it's a first or a second year. And so I think that's one of the great things about being a German at RBC.
So to answer the question from the beginning, I invite you all to ask each individual student what their personal answer is, non-German or German. I, for myself, I'm incredibly grateful to have been given this opportunity and to be here and to learn among these great students. However, one also has to recognize that it is sometimes hard to get recognized as an individual among 50 other students from the same country, because UWC tends to group people according to their nationality or according to the geographical region they come from on Earth. But I think one thing that we all realized is that UWC is not necessarily depending on the location it is set in. And talking to a lot of alumni, this confirms it. It is more about the people that have lived together on campus, that shaped everyday life on the campus, and that left a lasting impression on each other. Thank you.
Dankeschön.
I still remember how I felt before coming to UWC. Well, okay, it's not that long ago, but I remember that my biggest fear was that I maybe wouldn't find someone I could relate to, that I would have problems finding friends, would have problems socializing, and that people would understand where I was from and what I wanted for my future. But you know, we have 4 people in one room. We have 24 to 26 people in one house. And there's so many possibilities how we can get to know each other and how we can connect with each other.
We can always, in the campus, hear the Bollywood song everywhere. And all of us start jumping and dancing with each other. We love this dance so much. And please know that this dance was also passed through generation, from the first generation until now to us. And also it's a part of our CAST program. Now, please welcome our last performance, the Bollywood dance. would like to thank the 15 and Sophia. Thank you so much.